What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. I'm just going to give a brief walk around of all the mods that I've done to the bike so far, and yeah, I'll let you know what's going on. I'm shooting it with my iPhone today, a little different than my camera, so we'll see how it turns out afterwards. The first thing that people always ask me is about my seat. My seat was built, well, first it's a stock seat that I sent to Evan Nelson on Instagram. I'll link his Instagram below. But pretty much he adds a 2.5 inch build-up in the rear, and you can do any material you want on it, but I chose the gripper top all around, and he puts a design in it to help stabilize you. But this is probably the best thing that I've done to the bike, is put this seat on there. It's killer. It locks you in on wheelies. It's super comfortable, and gets a lot of attention everywhere I go. Alright, so starting from the front, I have the Race Tech fork springs installed. I didn't do the full kit, but I just have the springs, and that's plenty. I did the 0.70 kilogram springs, so they're actually super stiff. I'm 220 pounds, so it's well enough to keep me from bottoming out the forks. Other than that, I just vinyl wrapped them in white to get rid of the gold, and that's pretty much up front. I still have the stock brake lines, just on the front brake. The other two I have steel braided. I have the flush mount turn signals that I did a video on already to get rid of those big bulky ones. Makes it look a little bit better. I don't really use them too much, but it kind of clears up the front a little bit. To the front, I have the Pro Taper Raptor bars, the 1 1/8 bars, and I have the PSD bar clamp, the 1 inch rise, and I'm 6'4", so it's pretty good on keeping me in a good position upright. I run the Pro Grip gel grips here. These are my favorite grips by far. And then I put on the 50 Stunt bar ends. It kind of saves the levers if you crash, if you go down at all. They stick out just far enough to save the bike, save all your precious levers and whatnot. I have the RSC trigger clutch lever, and then for my handbrake I have a Brembo RCS 14. And that's I have a steel braided brake line, and that comes around to my MK Stunts dual Brembo bracket. I have a P34 that's hooked up to the handbrake right here, and then I have a P32 for the foot brake with a steel braided line as well. Moving back, I got rid of the stock intake, and I put on the Chimera intake on there. It looks pretty sweet. It's a cool little setup. I like how it sticks out and you can kind of see it from the outside. And then moving farther back, I have, which you can't see, I have the Chimera clutch plate, and I have 60% springs installed there. So that definitely helps with definitely popping some wheelies, getting a good, better clutch feel out of it and whatnot. Another video I've already made is about my Amazon exhaust. It's nothing fancy. It's not like this sweet Yoshimura exhaust, but it has a good tone, and it does the trick for what I'm looking at into it for. It does what I want, looks good, and it has a good sound for what it is. I took out, there's like 2 baffles that you can use with this. There's one that's inside the center of it, and then this outer one. So I just took out the center baffle because I wanted it not loud, but a little bit louder than what it comes stock. So yeah. All right, moving to the back, I have the MK Stunts Sub Cage. This is my favorite design so far on the 22s. It's got a good step plate design. I like the knurled pegs that they use, and then I like how they used a 5-inch block on the back. I think it's kind of cool that they used the big old block. For a lot of people asking on this one, I have my license plate tucked under here right now, but I just zip tie it. I don't really need a fancy fender eliminator or anything like that. So yeah, that does the trick there. On the back, I have a Michelin Power Pure tire. It's actually mounted backwards, but it is what it is. I haven't got around to doing the front one, but the V-rubbers on these bikes that come stock are trash. And yeah, I wanted to get better grip in the rear. I also went to a 140 rear tire in the back. Makes it a little wider, and I think it's just more stability for wheelies. I run the MK Stunts axle sliders just in the rear. I think it gives it a good touch, and it saves the bike if you lay it over on its side. There's no need to do it for the front, because the front axle sliders usually do more harm than good. So I left those out. And then on the back, I also got the Otb Chain Adjusters. If you have a Grom or had previous models, you know the chain adjusters that come stock are absolute garbage. So that's one of the first things that I always do to these bikes is switch out the chain adjusters, because it takes about a minute or less to adjust the chain. And with these little bikes, you're going to be adjusting the chain quite a bit here. I still have a stock taillight. I haven't got an integrated one, and I haven't added turn signals in the back, so that's one of the things I got to do next. But yeah, it's not too high a priority yet. I'm still running the stock sprocket and chain. That's going to change here pretty soon. I can still pull up a wheelie in 3rd gear stock, so that's why I haven't really messed with the sprockets yet. But I'm going to go to a 43 tooth rear pretty soon. I bought it before I rode the bike too much, thinking that it would need more pop, but it really doesn't. So stock, you can pop it up 1st, 2nd, 3rd, no problem, for me at least. 4th is a little tough, but I like going fast as this bike can go. So that's why I left it. But if you like the speed, then I would just leave it. Just change the chain, go to a different one. I still have a stock one, but I'm gonna change it pretty soon here. But yeah, so I'll make a video on adding the sprocket and chain here in the near future. Other than that, the bike is pretty much stock here. I still have the stock shifter. I usually go to the IMS shifter, but you know, this still clicks into neutral pretty easy, and I have no need to switch it just yet until it breaks. The IMS, the aftermarket ones, have a folding lever, so it's, you know, if you crash, it'll fold instead of just bend this one. So if it comes down to it, I'll probably switch that out. But other than that, that's what it is. It's pretty sweet. I do not have a tune on it yet. I've been running it with no tune. So I'm gonna send it to DHM pretty soon to get my ECU flashed, and I'll probably do a cam while I'm at it. But for right now, it does what I need it to do, and this bike rips, man. It's a fun little bike. So thanks for watching. There's an overview of my Honda Grom so far, and subscribe and let me know what you think.